I am from Bihar. I was born and brought up in Bihar. And today I start with a handicap. Police persons in India are mostly known as, in fact, they are more known as the third degree, for their third degree presentation rather than PowerPoint presentation. But today I'm still making an attempt and I hope you'll bear with me. In the year 2004, the Rajasthan Police, under the leadership of Mr. A.S. Gill, the then DGP Rajasthan, now DG CRPF, started many initiatives. The objective was to improve the overall policing in the state. We introduced case officer scheme, hardcore criminal scheme. We introduced ISO certification in the police stations. And we also launched community policing in a very big way. This police performance and public perception that Rajasthan Police undertook in collaboration with JPAL of MIT is a flag bearer project. It is the first rigorously evaluated police reform project in India. It was a 3-year collaboration between Rajasthan Police and the JPAL, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. The objectives were to enhance police performance, to improve public perception, and to gather objective information. 4 reform initiatives were tested in 150 police stations across 11 districts of the state, and they included stability of tenure, rotation of duties and weekly days off, community observer, and training. This is the map of Rajasthan. Rajasthan is the largest state in terms of area. We have 78,000 police persons, 38 police districts, and 746 police stations. Policing any society, as we all know, is a very complex task. And in India, it is more so because of the plethora of systemic, organizational, and behavioral challenges that make policing more difficult. We have vacancy of judges in court that leads to the pendency of trial and also delays conviction. We have 10 judges in India, in fact 10 judges per million in India compared to 150 in US and United Kingdom. We have political interference resulting into arbitrary and subjective transfers and postings. Our police completely lack community involvement. We have massive resource constraint in terms of budget and manpower, which acts as a demotivating force and also causes dissatisfaction among the force. Because of our colonial legacy, we have not been able to instill the service orientation in our force. Police reform has been a favorite topic since our independence, and we have several police commissions giving extensive recommendations that were very broad and ambitious in scope, and they were seldom implemented as well. Besides, we also have local success stories, but that were also like flash in the pan. They were isolated incidents which could not be scaled up. So there was a need to have a middle ground which is pragmatic, effective reforms that can be quickly implemented. We not only wanted to implement reforms, but we also wanted to measure the impact of the reforms that we implemented. And this is what makes this project unique in India. When I was studying at Harvard, I came in contact with Professor Esther Duflo of MIT. I came to know that she is working in Rajasthan. So when we decided to take this kind of work in Rajasthan, we contacted several institutes, in fact, premier institutes of repute in home and abroad. And JPAL MIT was very quick to respond in a very meaningful way. And I'm really thankful to Esther Duflo, Professor Abhijit Banerjee, Daniel Keniston, who is not here, and the entire team of JPAL, and Professor Raghavendra Chattopadhyay of IIM Calcutta, without whose support and cooperation, this particular project wouldn't have been a reality. So thus, this is how a unique partnership started in India. In fact, I should tell you this, that immediately after receiving the email, Esther landed in Jaipur within 2 days, and she had a meeting with the DGP, Mr. A.S. Gill, and we started this project. We started this project with a pre-pilot survey in September 2005, where we interviewed all stakeholders, including the judiciary and media. We also consulted all the existing literature and material available. And we found that public perception of police does not always reflect the ground reality, and negative perceptions persist even when police do positive work. We also found that respondents find police to be mostly unfriendly, indifferent towards common man, lazy, and unwilling or unable to do their job. We also found, because when we surveyed our own people, we found that our police had a very low self-esteem. They felt neglected, overworked, unappreciated, victims of political manipulation, and also they always felt there was of resource constraint. On the basis of our findings, we tried to identify the possible areas of interventions, and we zeroed it on personnel management, capacity building, improving service delivery, and encourage community orientation. So these were the 4 possible areas of interventions that we identified on the basis of our preliminary survey and also the literature survey. Sorry. While selecting the interventions, there were several issues that came to our mind, like our police stations did not have adequate space, they did not have adequate manpower, vehicle, fuel, etc., etc. But all those required a lot of money, and there was no guarantee that we could get them within a stipulated time. So we concentrated on cost-effective and simple interventions that can be implemented in any police station, and also those are capable of generating hard evidence of success and can be scaled up in Rajasthan, the entire state if successful. Our unit of intervention was police station because that is the basic service delivery unit of police and the interface of police with the citizen. We tested the potential interventions in 11 police stations in 3 districts, collected feedback from police station staff and supervisory staff, and decided on the final reform initiatives that included stability of tenure, duty rotation with weekly day off, introduction of community observers in police stations, and training on investigation skills and soft skills, which is the new word that we coined on the basis of our survey. We rolled out these interventions in 150 randomly selected police stations in 11 randomly selected districts. 1/2 of the staff members were randomly selected for training in these districts. These districts were chosen, the red colored one are the districts chosen. They were a representative sample, not only in terms of geography and the cultural aspect, but also in terms of the rate of criminality in the district, in the state. So we ensured that our sample is a representative sample of the entire state. So these are the 11 districts, and we chose 150 police stations in these 11 districts for our interventions. The first intervention was the stability of tenure. Under this, all administrative transfers in the police station were frozen. The purpose was to increase transparency, reduce inappropriate interference, and also the fact that the stability of tenure can improve the investigation of the officers through better knowledge of area and community. The Office of the DG issued instruction banning all the transfers in the police stations, and transfer could only take place in special cases when there was a complaint of serious misconduct, and that too after the approval of the superintendent of police. The second intervention was the duty roster and weekly day off. Under the duty roster, all duties of the police stations were assigned to all staff of the police station as per the previously announced schedule. And besides, all staff in the selected police stations received a weekly day off. The objective was to increase the productivity because we thought that better rested, like the rest will provide a more efficient police force. Besides, it will increase transparency and improve the morale of the police. The SHO prepared the duty roster and it was displayed in the notice board so that all staff posted in the police station had the previous knowledge of the duty allocated to him during the month. Weekly off was strictly for a period of 24 hours and in a cycle of 8 days. These are a few photographs of the duty roster that was prepared manually in the police station. This is the weekly day off schedule. Then we introduced a new initiative called Community Observer, in which we recruited 100+ community members to visit police station for 3 hours every day during the peak hour. The purpose was to create awareness about the roles and challenges of the police, and also the fact that they will share their experience to the friends, the family, and by which there will be more awareness about the need of the police, the challenges of the police. And we also expected that the presence of police, the presence of these observers will encourage polite behavior in this police station staff. These police community observers were basically people from all ages, class, and caste with clean background, no criminal background. 30% of them should be female. And to encourage more female participation, we said that 2 women can visit police station at a time. They had access to all parts of police station, including the police lockup. They were expected to sit at the police station and observe. And if the SHO wanted, he could have asked the community observer to help the victims write their FIR or do counseling, etc. It was totally at the discretion of the SHO. They were also expected to write their comment in the register, which was maintained in the police station, or in the drop box, which was kept in the police station, the key of which was lying with the nodal officer. So there was no need to disclose their names either. The purpose was to get the feedback and honest feedback from these community observers. We publicized the community observers, and in Hindi we called it Janadrashta Karyakram, in all the police stations where this intervention was going on. This is a photograph of community observer. We demarcated a place in the police stations where community observers used to come and sit and observe. But they were not supposed to be restricted at one particular place. They were free to move around wherever they wanted to go. The last intervention was training. So we introduced 2 kinds of training. One was the training for the investigating officers. This was a week-long module and residential training at the Rajasthan Police Academy. And second was the 3-day training on soft skills, which included communications, public relations, etc. And this was prepared by ILNFS ETS. The soft skill training during the time of our project was funded by UNODC. The purpose was to improve the quality of investigation through better knowledge and skills, and also to improve soft skills that help them improve relationship with public. So investigation skills, as I told you, was a week-long module where the emphasis was on the use of scientific aids in investigation, and also they, during the course of the training, the knowledge of law, etc. was updated to them. The soft skill training, we prepared this kind of a manual for our staff. It was a very comprehensive manual in very simple language, which could be very easily understood by our people. So the most of the complicated jargons of management were written in a very simple manner in this particular book so that the police people could identify those concepts with their environment, and that helped them perform better. The DGP Rajasthan was personally monitoring this project. It was very close to Mr. A.S. Gill's heart, and he was personally monitoring the project. So we called a series of meetings at the district level, at the subdivisional level, at the police station level, and involved each and every staff of the police station in the discussion up to constabulary to remove any ambiguity. And we also appointed nodal officer who were usually of additional SP and DYSP's rank, who were responsible for monitoring the project and providing regular status report. The SP was given freedom to make necessary innovations and modification to ensure that project would be adapted to their district, but without changing the basic framework of the project. For example, in some of the police stations, for example, small police stations where there were only 12 constables or 12 persons, it was very difficult to give 8 days weekly off to the staff. So we said instead of 8 days, you can extend it and give 15 days off. But there should be a weekly off, a provision of weekly off, which is must in every police station under this project. Besides, the JPAL team, the researchers, their supervisors were in constant touch with us. They used to go to the police station, and in fact, many of our police station people used to call them as police officers. I remember several times when Daniel Keniston, when he used to visit police station, people used to give him a big salute, you know. There used to be a parade for him. And people used to say that, oh, he is a police officer equivalent to IPS in United States, you know. So they used to call him an IPS from USA. So that was the kind of cooperation we had. It was a very honest feedback from each part. And I think I'll hand it over to Esther, who will give a research perspective of this. And after that, I'll come back and talk more about the challenges.